Yo, hold up. Wait, you actually went there? Wow, you really did it, huh? You crossed that line they said was untouchable, that zone everyone was too scared to even look at? Oh nah, you snapped. You moved differently. You shifted the whole atmosphere. And now look at them, panicking like the lights just went out. They're whispering, pointing, scrambling for control like, what did you just do? Yeah, they're freaking out. Because you didn't just make a move, you unleashed something. A storm, a truth, a version of yourself they never believed existed. But hey, pause right there. Breathe. Because what you're about to hear in this speech isn't just words. It's awakening. It's raw. It's dark. It's real. It's not a fairy tale. It's a mirror. A reflection of what happens when someone finally stops waiting for permission and acts. So don't blink. All right? Don't scroll away. Stay till the very end, because this one's for you. Yeah, you. The one who's been quiet too long. The one who's been underestimated. The one who's ready to stop holding back. You're not just watching a video, you're stepping into a mindset that flips fear inside out. And I'm not here to preach. I'm here to remind you, you've got that spark, that silent power everyone keeps underestimating. And when it finally wakes up, oh, they'll all ask the same question. What nightmare did you have? But we both know it wasn't a nightmare at all. It was your clarity. Now drop a comment below. Tell me you're ready. Because after this speech, there's no going back. They weren't ready for you, and that's exactly why you had to do it. Hold up. You actually went there. You didn't just talk. You moved. You crossed that invisible line everyone swore you'd never reach. And now look at them. Trembling behind their polite smiles, pretending to understand you, whispering your name like it's a warning label. Oh wow, they're freaking out. You can see it in their eyes, can't you? That quiet panic, that frozen disbelief. Did they really do it, they ask? Yeah, you did. You really did. But here's the thing. They never believed your silence had teeth. They thought your patience meant weakness. They mistook your calm for submission. And when you finally stood up, when you finally acted, it tore something open in them. Because now, they see the thing they tried to bury. The truth. See, everyone loves to play the philosopher until the storm hits their window. They love to say, do what's right, until right becomes inconvenient. You shattered that comfort zone. You reminded them that principles mean nothing until they cost something. Oh, and that cost, it's written all over their faces now. Every widened eye, every tightened jaw, every fake laugh that's 1 second too long. Nah, don't soften it. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Because this reaction, it means you finally hit the nerve you were born to strike. That's the sound of reality waking up, screaming, who gave you permission to be free? And freedom, real freedom, it doesn't ask permission. It takes accountability, folds it into purpose, and burns through fear like wildfire. That's what you did. You burned through their fear, and now they call you the nightmare. Funny, huh? You're not the villain. You're the mirror they refuse to look into. And mirrors don't lie. They just show the face behind the mask. But you learned something tonight, didn't you? You learned that when you stop playing by their fragile rules, the world panics. The moment you say no more pretending, you stop being predictable. You stop being safe. You stop being controlled. Oh, but control. That's their favorite toy. They want you labeled, boxed, manageable. They want your fire bottled up in a smile that doesn't scare them. But what happens when the bottle breaks? What happens when silence finally speaks? When obedience turns into clarity? When patience becomes precision? You saw it, didn't you? The exact second their illusion cracked. The air changed. The smiles dropped. Their eyes said it all. What have you done? And that right there is where the story begins. Because every world shaker, every rule breaker, every silent one who finally spoke, I heard that same question. But you didn't answer it yet, did you? You just stood there, calm, steady, unreadable. And that silence, oh, that silence scared them more than any scream ever could. Because deep down, they know what you are now. Not a follower, not a bystander, a storm. And storms don't explain themselves. They just arrived. They just remind the world, nothing stays untouched forever. So yeah, you went there, you crossed the line they drew in chalk, and when the rain came, it washed their boundary away. Now they whisper, what nightmare did you have? And the answer, well, that's where it gets interesting. Clarity isn't kind. It cuts. It cleans. It exposes. You thought chaos was the nightmare. Oh, but clarity? Clarity is the one that actually hurts. Because when the smoke clears, there's no noise to hide behind. Just silence and truth. And the truth doesn't whisper, it stares. It doesn't comfort, it demands. So yeah, you went there. You did the unthinkable. You turned the mirror around, forced them to see what they'd become. And oh wow, they flinched. They always do. People can survive lies for decades, but a single second of honesty, that's enough to break them. That's the real explosion. Not fire, not destruction, just revelation. You see, when you stripped away the fake smiles, the small talk, the performance, you didn't destroy their world. You revealed its cracks. You showed how weak their foundations were. They called it chaos. But no, it was order. The kind that comes when everything false finally collapses. Because before things get right, they must get real. And real life is terrifying. Real is standing in front of the storm you created and saying, this is me now. Real is no longer asking for permission to exist. It's not rebellion. It's alignment. Alignment with truth, discipline, and justice that can't be swayed by fear. That's what they saw in you, and that's what unsettled them most. Oh wow. You could have stopped, right? You could have softened it, smoothed it over, apologized for their discomfort, but you didn't. You stood your ground, because you understood growth doesn't happen in comfort. Transformation requires friction, and you were willing to stand in that fire of your own making, calm, steady, unbroken. Yeah, that's the nightmare they talk about. Not some beast crawling out of the dark, but someone who has accepted their own reflection. Someone who refuses to wear masks anymore. Someone who no longer fears the truth's bite. Because once you've faced your own shadows, no one else's judgment can touch you. Clarity burned away your illusions. It made you precise. It gave you vision. And with vision comes danger, because now you see patterns where others see coincidence. You see motives behind every smile. You see weakness hiding under pride. And that sight, oh, it changes you. It makes you sharper, colder, more deliberate. Nah, you're not cruel, you're focused. There's a difference. You don't destroy for pleasure, you dismantle falsehood for progress. That's the difference between noise and purpose, between chaos and control. And now, your silence has weight. Your every movement carries intent. You've become the quiet calculation in a world addicted to distraction. And that's why they fear you. Not because you're violent, but because you're awake. You turned confusion into precision, panic into patience, rage into restraint. That's what real clarity does. It builds strength through control. But clarity alone isn't enough, is it? It gives you sight. Yes, but what do you do with it? Because seeing the truth and acting on it, those are two entirely different battles. Seeing the truth is easy. Walking through it, that's where most break. So now you see. You see the rot beneath the surface. The masks, the empty laughter trying to bury discomfort. You see how fragile it all was. But the real question, the one that splits the weak from the unshakable, is this. Can you walk through the fire without losing your shape? Because clarity without movement is just paralysis in disguise. You can't stare at the truth forever. You either act or you decay. And oh wow, the moment you start to move, that's when the resistance rises. That's when the quiet enemies step out, smiling like friends. The air gets colder, the noise gets louder. Everyone suddenly wants to advise you on how to shrink back into something they can predict. Yeah, they'll call it concern, humility, patience. But you'll feel it. It's fear. Their fear. Because once someone starts walking with purpose, they remind everyone else how still they've been. And nothing offends stagnation more than movement. You've probably felt it already, haven't you? That invisible pressure pulling you backward. The whispers. You've changed. You're too harsh. You think too much. But here's the truth. They don't hate your growth. They hate the reflection it forces. You're no longer a part of their comfort zone. You're the alarm clock they can't turn off. Nah, this isn't arrogance. This is discipline. This is restraint sharpened into armor. You're not fueled by rage anymore. You're fueled by control. The kind of control that turns storms into strategies. You don't shout to prove yourself. You move with intention. Quiet, deliberate, unstoppable. And oh, how it burns them. Because they can't predict someone who has mastered their own impulses. They can't manipulate someone who's already dissected their own fears. That's the secret, isn't it? Once you've faced your own chaos, no outside noise can command you anymore. You walk through fire not to destroy, but to purify. Every scar becomes a signature of endurance, not pain. But walking through it, it's not glamorous. It's lonely. It's slow. It's nights of silence where the only voice left is your own, and it doesn't flatter you. It questions you. It forces you to refine. Every step forward demands something from you. Patience, accountability, sacrifice. And most won't pay that price. They'll quit halfway, convincing themselves they've done enough. But you're different. You didn't come this far to retreat. You came to become, to emerge cleaner, sharper, grounded. That's the real nightmare for them. The idea that pain didn't destroy you, it disciplined you. Oh wow. They'll watch you rise from what they thought would bury you, and they'll whisper, how? But you'll just smile, won't you? Because they wouldn't understand that real power isn't noise, it's composure under pressure. It's the art of not breaking when everything dares you to. You've walked through fire, but that's only the beginning. Because walking is one thing, building is another. Anyone can rise once. But can you build something that can't be burned down? You've walked through fire, and it didn't consume you. It refined you. Now comes the harder part, building. Not rebuilding what you lost, no. Building something entirely new. Something that can't be shaken by noise, doubt, or betrayal. And oh wow, this is where most fall apart. Because creation requires more than strength. It requires structure. The kind of discipline that outlasts emotion. You see, destruction is easy. It's dramatic. It makes noise. But building demands silence, patience, repetition. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. It's those endless nights where you lay brick after brick while everyone else sleeps. And no one claps for that. No one celebrates the quiet work of becoming solid. But that's where real power hides, in the routine that no one sees. You're not chasing flashes anymore. You're constructing foundations. Each principle you hold becomes a stone. Each restraint you show becomes steel. Each moment you refuse to break becomes another wall between you and the chaos that used to own you. And that's terrifying to them, because they can't destroy someone who no longer needs approval. They can't manipulate someone whose worth isn't borrowed from noise. Oh wow. They'll try. They'll test you. They'll push every weakness, every old wound. They'll whisper nostalgia like poison, trying to drag you back to what's familiar. But you've changed. You're not chasing comfort anymore. You're crafting endurance. Every time you choose focus over impulse, silence over reaction, precision over pride, you're laying another layer of armor over your spirit. That's the architecture of the unbreakable. And yeah, it's lonely up there. The higher you build, the fewer people understand the view. They'll say you've become cold, detached. But they don't see it. You're not colder, you're clearer. You've learned that not everything deserves access, that not every noise deserves an answer. You protect your peace now, not out of fear, but out of purpose. Because you finally realized your life is not a reaction, it's a design. Every movement, every word, every silence, it's measured, it's deliberate, it's clean. You've turned pain into blueprint, discipline into structure, clarity into walls that nothing false can climb. That's not arrogance, that's evolution. Oh wow. Do you feel it? That stillness inside you now? That's balance. The storm didn't end, it learned to move with you. You don't fight chaos anymore. You harness it. You've become the builder and the weapon, the architect and the storm. But there's one last test, the final threshold between those who build and those who lead. Because once you've created something real, the world will try to take it. The strongest warrior isn't the one who conquers others. It's the one who guards his own peace when the world claws to steal it. So now, they've come. Not with armies or weapons, but with whispers, temptations, distractions. The moment you build something real, the world tests your right to keep it. Oh wow, you knew this was coming, didn't you? You could feel it. That invisible pull trying to drag you back to noise, to doubt, to weakness disguised as comfort. And yeah, it stings. Because this final battle isn't about breaking others, it's about not breaking yourself. See, everyone can fight when they're angry. Anyone can destroy when they're hurt. But few can protect what they've built with patience, control, and restraint. That's the rare kind of strength, the quiet one. The kind that doesn't shout, doesn't perform. It just endures. Nah, don't mistake endurance for stillness. You're not frozen. You're focused. You've learned when to move and when to stay still, when to strike and when to step back. You've learned that sometimes silence screams louder than rage, because every reaction they want from you is a door you refuse to open. Every taunt you ignore is a victory they'll never understand. And oh wow, look at them now, confused, frustrated, because your calm is louder than their chaos. They can't read someone who no longer plays their game. They expected you to crumble, to lash out, to lose the control that took years to master. But instead, you stood still, like a mountain that learned to smile at the storm. That's power, not the loud kind, the rooted kind, the type that doesn't need to prove anything because it already knows. You've outgrown their traps, their tests, their noise. You've learned that protecting your foundation doesn't mean isolation, it means discernment. You choose your battles now. You decide what deserves your energy. And that's when you realize, victory isn't about conquering the world. It's about conquering yourself. The noise, the ego, the hunger to always respond. Because the moment you stop letting chaos pull your strings, you become untouchable. Nah, this isn't the story of someone who wanted revenge. This is the story of someone who learned mastery. Self-mastery? The rarest form of rebellion. The rebellion of patience in a world addicted to impulse. The rebellion of peace in a world that thrives on provocation. You guard your inner fire now, not to keep others warm, but to make sure it never burns uncontrolled again. That flame is yours. It's the focus, it's discipline, it's purpose, and no one gets to claim it but you. So when they come, and they will, you won't fight with anger. You'll fight with clarity, with silence, with the steady hand of someone who already knows the outcome. Because you've seen what happens when truth meets deception. Truth doesn't shout. It outlasts. Oh wow. And that's what terrifies them most. You didn't just survive, you stabilized. You didn't just awaken, you ascended above reaction. You've become what they feared you might be, untouchable by corruption, unreachable by manipulation, unshaken by noise. Now they whisper again, what nightmare did you give birth to? And you just smile, because they still don't understand. Oh wow, you felt that, didn't you? That shift, that realization, that moment when everything clicked. You saw it, clear as day. The fear in their eyes, the doubt in their tone, the panic behind their calm faces. Yeah, that's what happens when someone finally breaks the pattern. You didn't just listen, you changed while watching. And nah, that's not luck, that's you waking up, That's focus taking form. That's power without noise, motion without permission. Look around. Now, the same ones who once laughed, they're quiet. The same ones who doubted, they're watching. Because deep down, they know you're not playing small anymore. You're moving with purpose. Every step now has weight. Oh, wow. And that's beautiful, isn't it? Watching yourself turn into the person they said was too much. Nah, you're not too much. You're finally enough of yourself. You're becoming the version they weren't ready to face. So here's my message to you. Legend, don't dim that flame. Don't slow down now. You came this far to command the storm, not to survive it. Remember this feeling, this energy, this clarity. Let it stay. Let it lead. And yeah, they're freaking out right now because they can't categorize you anymore. You outgrew their boxes, outsmarted their games, and outlasted their silence. That's not chaos. That's control. So if this speech hits something deep inside you, drop your mark below. Tell me you felt it. Tell me you're ready, because this right here is where the fearless find each other.